as long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal. One who could push me. One who could surprise me. One who could even beat me. Yet all I found is disappointment. Will one of you finally give me what I desire?
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Insomniac Games and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Based on the Marvel Comics character Spider-Man, it features a narrative inspired by the long-running comic book mythology while also deriving from various adaptations in other media. It is the third entry in the Marvel's Spider-Man series, acting as a sequel to Marvel's Spider-Man and a follow-up to Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, with Peter Parker and Miles Morales working together as a duo and coming into conflict with new foes such as Kraven the Hunter, the Lizard, and the symbiote Venom, which bonds itself to Peter. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is scheduled to release for the PlayStation 5 on October 20th, 2023. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 will be an action-adventure single-player video game played in a third-person perspective. As with the first game in Miles Morales, Parker and Morales are the two main characters, becoming individually playable in accordance with the story as they traverse an open-world New York City and fight enemies.
I asked for an equal. And this is what you find.
Sir, perhaps a new hunting ground.
Light the fires. The great hunt begins.
Players can acquire new abilities and collect various Spider-Man suits. Peter and Miles are able to be freely swapped between at any point during free roam in the game's open world, but will have dedicated missions both in the main story and as part of side content that specifically take advantage of their individual traits. Building on the combat system of the previous titles, both Spider-Men are able to parry physical attacks as certain enemy types are impervious to dodging. During traversal, both Peter and Miles' new suits come equipped with web wings, which when deployed allow them to glide across the city, with their speed and distance covered increasing when they take advantage of areas such as wind tunnels. Each Spider-Man's gadget wheel has also been upgraded with additional equipable mods for their web shooters, such as being able to cast a web line across pillars for additional footing during stealth sequences suspended above enemies, and the web grabber, allowing multiple enemies to be pulled into an isolated spot for stealth takedowns, which can now be performed on two enemies at once. In addition to Peter Parker's standard gameplay, he will also be playable when bonded to the Venom symbiote, granting him tendrils that he uses during combat, and unique web-based abilities. Both Spider-Men have individual skill trees with additional unlockable abilities for both of them to peruse once they accumulate enough skill points in accordance with their experience level, as well as a third skill tree dedicated to shared abilities between the two of them. Both the first game and its spin-off title Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales included implicit teases toward future titles, including post-credit scenes alluding to Insomniac Games' intentions to introduce Venom into their narrative, as well as feature Norman Osborn and his son Harry in more prominent roles. Intihar later stated that Insomniac Games had discussed including the black suit as an unlockable costume during the development of the first game, but a meeting with Insomniac art director Gavin Gooden, Marvel Games Vice President Bill Roseman, and Senior Director Eric Monticelli convinced them that the symbiote would have to play a more significant role in their Spider-Man story to justify its inclusion. When unveiling Miles Morales at Sony's PlayStation 5 reveal event in June 2020, Insomniac stated that a standalone title featuring Miles as the protagonist would not detract from the fact they had much of Peter's story left to tell in future games. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and sister title Marvel's Wolverine were jointly announced by Insomniac Games at the PlayStation Showcase event in September 2021. Brian Intihar and Ryan Smith serve as the game's creative and game directors, respectively reprising their roles from Marvel's Spider-Man, while Yuri Lowenthal, Naji Jeter, and Tony Todd star as Peter Parker, Miles Morales, and Venom, respectively.